Hi everyone, my name is Ashley with Clover Patch Knits, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning back to my channel, welcome back to you as well. But if you are new here, I talk about everything great and wonderful regarding knit and crochet. So if that's like your new hobby, or you just want to learn about the wonderful world of these hobbies, I know you're going to love this channel. Actually, on today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all some great summer crochet patterns that I found, because y'all, it's going to be summertime before we know it. Like, summer season is approaching us quickly, and a lot of these patterns that I found are going to be great for beginners, and they are free. So who doesn't love a good free pattern? Because I know I do. And also, I feel like springtime and summertime is really the time that like crochet really gets to shine in. So I'm so excited to share with you all these really cute patterns that I found. The first pattern I'm going to share with you all is the Summer Fun Market Beach Tote by Amy Marion. You can find this pattern on Ravelry for $2, $2 US, and you can also get this pattern for free as well, so that's great. And on Ravelry it also says that you are going to use Aran weight yarn or cotton yarn. That's what's recommended, but I feel like if you make this bag, you probably can use worsted weight yarn. If you do worsted weight yarn to make your bag, you may have to use just a smaller hook size. And I love this bag. It's so cute. Like, I feel like you can make it in multiple of colors, especially if you plan on like going to the beach, or if you want to go to the farmer's market, if you plan on going to the lake or whatever. This would be just a really cute bag to take with you. And when I started out crocheting, I really enjoyed making bags as well, because they're pretty simple to make. And a lot of times in those patterns, you're using the same stitch, like it's a repetitive stitch as you're working on, which is great if you're a beginner, because having a project where you're using or repeating the same stitch over and over again helps you to practice, especially when you're trying to learn stitches and remember like how to do different type of stitches and things like that. Having a project that is repetitive in that regard is very helpful. So I love this bag, and it's so cute. Now the next pattern, y'all, when I saw this on Ravelry, I was like, I have to include this when I make this video. It is the Halcyon Hat and Bag by Jess Compton. Now I love with this pattern that you also get to make a hat and a bag. So this would be perfect if you plan on going to the beach. You can have like both. But on Ravelry it says use worsted weight or Aran weight yarn for this project. You can get this pattern for free, so that's amazing. I think this bag will look so beautiful in like a multitude of colors. And on Ravelry it also says this pattern is great for a beginner. And the yarn that's recommended is the Lion brand Pima cotton yarn, and it says you use 4 balls of yarn, and that's really great as well. So I also tried to find patterns that were going to be kind of affordable. Usually Lion brand yarn, it's pretty affordable, so that's great, especially if you're a beginner, because I know, like, for me, when I started out crocheting, I didn't like to spend a lot of money on the yarn that I was working on, because I was still learning how to crochet. So this should be a pretty affordable project. And in this pattern, it looks like you are making granny squares and combining them together to make your bag and the hat as well. Well, part of the hat as well. It looks like you're going to make your granny squares and combine them together. If you're a beginner, having granny squares is the great project. I feel like when I started out crocheting, a granny square was probably the first thing I ever made, because that's so easy. So I can see why this pattern would be recommended for a beginner as well. And I love this. I feel like I want to make this because I have not crocheted a bag in such a long time. So I think so this would be a great project for me to work on too, because I really want to get back into crocheting, because I have not crocheted in quite a long time. So I've been trying to find a crochet project to work on. So I think this would be a really cute bag. And then the next project, or the pattern rather, that I found that is really cute. Now this is the Summer Sunshine Sunflower Blanket by MJ Off the Hook Designs. Now y'all, me and crochet blankets, I love crochet blankets. Okay, when I tell you, when I started out crocheting, I made so many blankets for so many different people, and I just made blankets in general because it's so easy to crochet a blanket. And also a lot of times with blanket designs, you're also having that repetitive stitch pattern that you're going to use, so it helps with practice. And now also, I forgot to mention this part, MJ Off the Hook Designs. If you have never seen her on Instagram or YouTube, she's very popular, but she has some beautiful designs. And on her YouTube channel, a lot of times she will put out tutorials on different patterns that she has. So I will put her information in the description box below because I love her designs and her YouTube tutorials are amazing as well. But with this blanket, you can get this pattern on Ravelry for $7 US dollars. And it also is recommended that you use Aran weight yarn, but you probably can also substitute and use worsted weight yarn as well. And the difficulty level that they have for this pattern on Ravelry is intermediate. But the positive thing, I believe MJ, the designer of the pattern, also probably has some tutorials on YouTube of how to make the granny square, so that should make things a lot easier. But I can just say, like, I've made granny square crochet blankets when I was a beginner. And a lot of times they're fairly easy. So even though it says intermediate on Ravelry, don't be intimidated if you're a beginner. Just try to give the pattern a try because you probably are going to be able to make it. But I love this. And I feel like you can also make this blanket in whatever color you would like as well. And it will look just as gorgeous. And probably also, because I'm thinking if you're making granny squares, if you don't want to make this blanket in the full size, you probably can make it smaller. If you want to make a baby blanket, you probably can make the blanket in whatever size you would like as well. So that's a positive. I love this. It's just so gorgeous. And the next pattern that I also saw on Ravelry, so cute. I've never seen this before, but it is called the Everyday Crochet Strawberry Sweater Vest by Heather Brooke. Y'all, I love anytime I see a pattern with strawberries or any type of design like that or hearts or whatever, I instantly love it. This little vest is so cute. You can also get this pattern for free, and there is also, I believe, a video tutorial that goes along with this pattern as well. So that's great. On Ravelry, it says recommended that you use worsted weight yarn. And I really like this design because I also saw on Ravelry, for people who didn't want to do like the strawberry stitch or include that in their vest, they just took that out, and because they liked the shape of the vest, they just made the vest their own, which is really great. Now I will say, even though I believe this is on Ravelry, it said the pattern was great for beginners, but I was reading from other people that have made the pattern. They said they wouldn't recommend it for a beginner because they kind of struggled with the pattern a little bit. So this pattern may be a little bit better if you have a little bit of experience with crocheting. But even if you are a beginner, look, never be intimidated by a pattern, because I know for me, when I started out crocheting, a lot of times I would be intimidated by certain patterns, especially if it said it was for intermediate level. Just always give it a try, because sometimes patterns can say it's like for intermediate level or advanced, but you may work on the pattern and it may be easy for you. So like I said, don't ever be intimidated. If you like a pattern, at least just give it a try, to say that you were able to try the pattern, because you never know. Sometimes, like I said, some patterns are easier than others, and even though a pattern may say intermediate or advanced level, it still may be easy. So like I said, just give the pattern a try. But I love these this sweater vest. It is so cute, and I love the little like folded down collar section. I think it's just so adorable. So the next pattern I'm going to share with you all is a cardigan. And also, if you all see me looking down in this video, I'm looking at the notes that I wrote for the patterns that I found. So that's why I'm looking down. But this beautiful pattern is called the Summer Breeze Cardigan by Carrie M. Chambers. On Ravelry, it is recommended that you use a DK cotton yarn. The photos of this cardigan are so beautiful, and I love the color. Like, green is one of my favorite colors, but you can get this pattern for free, and it looks like the cardigan. You're probably going to use a repetitive stitch pattern, so that is great, especially, like I said, if you're a beginner, you're able to practice. And when I was a beginner starting out, I loved working on cardigans, especially if they're a short sleeve. When I tell you, I made myself so many cardigans, and I made so many other people so many cardigans as well. So I love this. I haven't made a crochet cardigan in so many years, so I really want to make this one because I think it's so cute. And then the next pattern that I found, this is a tank top. I love a good tank top, but it is a relaxed fit tank top by Knit Crow-Addict. I have to give a huge shout out to Knit Crow-Addict. Like, when I started out crocheting, I loved Knit Crow Addict's channel because she has amazing YouTube tutorials. So if you haven't seen her YouTube channel, I will put her information in the description box below as well if you want to check out her channel, because I believe this pattern, well, you can get this pattern on Ravelry for $5 US. You can also get this pattern for free, and Knit Crow Addict, I believe, probably has a great YouTube tutorial out for this tank top. But if she doesn't have a YouTube tutorial out for this tank top, she also has another tank top pattern that she has that's very cute. Now I think that one is knitting, if I can remember. That may be a knit tank top, but if you know how to knit, she also has a great knit tank top, but also has a YouTube tutorial for that. But like I said, I'll put her information in the description box below if you want to check out her channel. This is such a cute tank, and I also love like with the tank top on the bottom, how it looks like it kind of flares out. I think this would be a really cute project. I'm trying to remember if I have ever crocheted a tank top over my course of my crochet journey. I can't remember if I ever have crocheted a tank top, but I feel like I want to after looking at this really cute pattern. And then the next pattern that I found, y'all, when I was scrolling on Ravelry, it was so, the photos of the pattern are so gorgeous. I was like, I have to include this in this video. I feel like this pattern has recently just come out, but it is the Second Star Lace Tee by Rachel Meisner. Y'all, these photos of this pattern are so gorgeous. I love the drawstring on the tee. Like, it's beautiful. So on Ravelry, it says he recommended that you use the DK weight yarn. Is, I believe, a Lion brand cotton yarn that they are recommending. And you can buy the pattern on Ravelry for $6.50 US. I believe the designer also has the pattern for free on her blog, and also I believe you can buy a kit through Lion brand if you would like as well, where it's like the yarn and I believe the pattern will come together in a kit, so that's great too. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is so gorgeous. I'm also debating if I want to make this tee as well. I feel like this would be great if you want to go to the beach or whatever and just throw yourself on a tee. This is so beautiful. Like I said, the drawstring is really what caught my eye. Also, the stitch design, everything about it is beautiful. I think this tee will look great in every single color of the rainbow, so I love this design. The next set of patterns that I wanted to include are some baby projects, simply because baby projects do not take long at all, so that's amazing. And they're also pretty affordable because those projects are smaller. So when I started out crocheting, I also loved making baby projects for all of those reasons. But the first pattern I found is the Madeline Summer Baby Dress by Frisson Knitting. I had to include this pattern because it reminded me so much of a crochet baby dress I made probably about 8 years ago. And believe it or not, that dress is still in the closet. That I have. It still looks great. Even though I don't have any kids yet, if I ever have a daughter, I plan on letting my daughter wear that dress because it is so gorgeous. But this pattern, you can find it on Ravelry for $3.59 US. You can also get the pattern for free, and there is an amazing YouTube tutorial for this pattern as well. So that's great that you can have a pattern and a YouTube tutorial. Like I said, if you are a visual learner like myself, having those two just works so great in hand together. But also on Ravelry, the pattern is rated easy/intermediate, and in the pattern photos that the designer put out, there's also looks like showed a baby hat. So maybe with the stitch design, you can make yourself a baby hat, so you can have a cute little baby dress and baby hat to go together. And baby hats do not take long either. That's another easy project to make, is a baby hat. You can finish that within a day, but this is such a gorgeous design. The next pattern I had to include are some really cute baby sandals. This is called Summer Baby Sandals by Ashley Prisma. It's recommended that you use DK weight yarn, and you can also get this pattern for free on the designer's blog, which that's amazing. I had to include some baby sandals because they are so much fun to make. Like when I started out crocheting, that was another project that I loved working on because they don't take long and they're affordable to make. You're literally not even going to use barely any amount of yarn to make these cute sandals, and you can make these within a day or within a couple hours within the day. Like, it does not take long to make these. And then the next pattern that I found, this is a really cute bucket hat, but it is the Sun and Sand Bucket Hat by Pam Grice. It's recommended that you use Aran weight yarn to make this hat, and you can get this pattern on Ravelry for $4 US. You can also get the pattern for free, or if you want to buy an ebook, the ebook has 15 other great and cute patterns in there as well, including this pattern, but you can buy the ebook for $14.99. So that is really great for the amount of patterns that you are getting in the ebook. Now the sizes for this hat, you can make them all the way up from 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, 1 to 3 years old, all the way up to 3 to 10 years old. So if you have an older kid and you want to make them a hat, this would be a great pattern. Also, you can make this pattern. It should be within a day on Ravelry. It says it would typically take you around an hour and 90 minutes to make this hat. So that's not long as well. So I think it would be a really fun project for a beginner to make. Also, you can make this hat in whatever color you would like, and be versatile with the colors. And also, you're going to be, looks like the hat, when I looked at the hat, you're going to be using the same stitch to make the hat. So that's great. You get to practice on your stitches and learn your stitches. Last pattern I wanted to share. This is called the Rainbow Reflection Sun Hat by Markin of the Hat and Eye. When I saw this hat design on Ravelry, I was like, I have to include this because y'all, when I was a little girl growing up, like I would have loved a little hat like this. Like, it's so adorable. But it is recommended on Ravelry that you use worsted weight yarn for the hat, so it shouldn't take long because you're using worsted weight yarn. Now, the thing that really stuck out to me about this design is the sizes that you can make this hat. So you can make the size of the hat all the way up from 0 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months. You can make it toddlers, child, all the way up to adults. So that made me so excited because I was like, I love this hat and I can make this for myself. So if you're an adult and you thought this hat was cute, you can make it for yourself as well. Now you can get this pattern on Ravelry for $5.99 US. You can also get the pattern for free. And also, the designer of this pattern has so many other beautiful designs. They have so many discount codes on Ravelry if you want to buy some of their other patterns that they have. Because I have never heard of this designer before, but I was just looking at some of the other like patterns that they've made. I was blown away. So I'm going to put their information in the description box below if you want to look at some of the other beautiful patterns that they have. And when I was looking at this hat, so the first thing that came to mind when I was looking at the hat, I was like, this would look really cute in like red, white, and blue. Like if you have July 4th plans, I think this hat would look so cute, especially around the bow area. Like if you do like a red, white, and blue theme, I think that would look so cute. I'm so tempted to make this hat because I was like, July 4th, that's gonna look so cute. So we have made it to the end of today's video, and hopefully this gave you some summer patterns that you want to try and give you a little fun project that you get to work on. But if you enjoyed this video, you could please give me a like or a subscribe, because the next time I post, it'll be one of my podcast style episodes where I'm sharing about what I have been working on lately. So if you want to see that, make sure you are subscribed and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of the next time I post. But until next time, I will see you all later. Bye.